welcome to everyone online. While you guys are joining and signing on, please use the chat function to just send us who you are and where you are from. And if you can say, is it your first, second, third webinar or session that you're attending from Golden Key, so that we know if we have some new faces on, or do we have return customers. So I'll be waiting to see who sends through so that we can just report on that. We are waiting for one of our panelists to join us as well. So we will announce everyone as soon as we are all online. There we go. I see our members have started with responses. So Carmel from Cape Town. We have Megan from South Africa, second webinar. Great. Natasha from PE. Perry, first GK webinar. Welcome. We have Belle from Louisville. It's your second webinar of the Golden Key Academy. Tamsin from Cape Town. So you guys have an international attendees as well. We have Sinead from the Eastern Cape. We have Sanam from Durban. Retabila from Joburg. We have Stephanie from PE. I, in advance, apologize for mispronunciations. I am known for mispronouncing names. Nita, we have on her second webinar. Marnay from Pretoria on her first. We have Lydia from Zambia, first webinar. Demi from Cape Town. Eddie from Roodepoort. He's a regular. Welcome back. Temi is in Pretoria. Second one, first attendance was the time management webinar that we had last week. Steph, second one. Cindy from Joburg. Lilani from Cape Town. There we go. So we have so many people online today, and I'm happy about that. I think you guys will enjoy the session. Welcome. So we might still have a few participants joining us throughout. So I would now like to just give you guys a run through of our presenters and our speakers for today. So the main speaker for today's session is Neo. Neo Mosolani is a certified life coach, CEO at the New Motivation Academy, a youth pastor at Holy Harvest Church, an entrepreneur, a Golden Key member, which makes us very proud, an award-winning leader and author. Welcome. Thank you for attending and hosting this session for us today. Online with him, we have Marnie Both, CEO at Evolve Life, a certified life coach, studied theology at the University of the Free State. Thank you, Marnie, for joining us. And then we're still waiting for Dr. Bill Price to log in. So as soon as he's on, you'll know who he is. He's a certified master life coach, CEO at VIP Coaching International Institute, a mentor in NLP specialist. So today we'll be handing over to Neo. He will be doing most of your session today with Dr. Marnie and Dr. Bill coming in at the end. So you guys will have the opportunity to use the Q&A function to ask questions today. However, all of the questions from the three first sessions will be compiled and will be answered in the fourth session. So if you have a question, please feel free to post it in the Q&A. It will be answered during the last session. So Neo, I'll hand over to you and enjoy.
Thank you very much. Thank you for everyone that is online. Thank you so much to the team, Golden Key team, for allowing us to host this important session on stress management. I'm really grateful to be here and enjoy the session. I want to have a conversation with you and actually bless you and help you transform your life on how to manage stress, because we know that stress is a big factor of our lives each and every day. And I want to say this, the best thing that can ever happen to you, one of the best things that can ever happen to you is you being able to manage your stress. So I want to give you, although today's session is about understanding stress and the cause, I also want to give you a small testimony about my life and how stress affected my life. So when I was in high school, I had migraines, and it was a very, very terrible season for me. And one of the things that my specialist always said is, make sure that you do not worry. Make sure that you do not stress. It's important that you ensure that you do not worry or you do not stress. And to me as a young student, I was saying to myself, but this is impossible. I have a lot of work to do. I want to get my life on track. I want to do many things. How can I not stress? How is it possible that I cannot stress? But the idea was, no, it's not about not stressing. It's about being able to manage your stress. So every time I would stress, what would happen is it would trigger my migraine. And once I had the migraine, my life stood still. It would stop. Nothing would happen. It would stand still. And that frustrated me a lot because I love progress. I want to see things happen in my life. I want to see things, going on. I want to see progress. So when I don't see progress, I get so frustrated. So that was a great challenge for me in high school. And I was forced to learn how to manage my stress. So I started attending stress management sessions just to learn as a young student, and I got to the university. Now I was excited. I'm at the university, but oh, guess what? There was a lot of work. There was a lot of things to do. And I went back to level 1, where basically I would stress all over again, and it will trigger my migraine, and my life will stop once again. And it used to frustrate me a lot, very, very much, because thinking to myself as a student, how is it possible that I will not stress? How is that even possible? I didn't understand that, but then I learned to manage my stress, and it changed my life completely. It really transformed my life, and I'm so grateful today. I'm so happy. I'm so excited that I'm able to manage my stress. Now, today's session, we're going to focus on understanding stress. We need to know what is it that we are talking about. We're going to speak about stress management, right? So we see that we have two words. We have stress and we also have management. Now, what is stress? Stress is the stretching of your mind, right? It is the stretching, the tightening of your mind that comes from pressure. So it is that stretch. You taken something and you just stretch it a lot, you pull, so it's so much pressure on it. It is stress. That is stress. When we speak about stress, we speak about the stretching of your mind, right? When we speak about management, we speak about your ability to have things that you can control under control. When we speak about management, we speak about your ability to have things that you can control under control, right? So it's all about knowing how to handle the pressure, knowing how to handle the stretching of your mind. Now I'm going to give you another definition of stress. Stress is the enormous and the extreme pressure that is on your mind, which ultimately determines your behavior, your habits, and your life's outcome. You see how dangerous stress is if you do not know how to manage it. It can literally form your behaviors, right? And your behaviors form your life's outcome. So your behavior forms your reality. Your stress or what's happening in the mind forms your behavior and your habits form your life's outcome. It produces your life's outcome. So that is stress. That is the power of stress. But we are also more powerful because we have the ability to manage our stress or the stress. Now, if stress is pressure that is on the mind, then we can see that stress is all about the mind. It's a mental issue. It's about what is going on in your mind. There's a saying we say in life coaching: healthy mind, healthy lifestyle. Unhealthy mind, unhealthy lifestyle. So your mind will produce your life's outcome, right? So it's important that you know how to control your mind, because when you have control over your mind, it means that you have control over your life. And this is so true. If you want to win in your life, you need to have control over your mind. You need the techniques, the programs, the skills to do that, right? So stress is this enormous pressure, this extreme pressure that is on your mind, that you put on your mind. And it comes from external factors or external influences. So it's very important for us to analyze and sit down and just think, what are the things in your life that causes you to have pressure? We need to sit down and identify everything that puts you under pressure. Could it be schoolwork? Could it be relationship? Could it be your work? Could it be whatever it is? You need to sit down and identify those things. We call them your stresses. You need to sit down and identify, what are the things or the factors that causes me to stress? What are the factors that causes me to have pressure? And we're speaking about external factors. We're speaking about all the external factors that are causing you to have pressure, right? So the main idea of stress is pressure. The main idea, when we speak about stress, we speak about the pressure, the enormous demand that you have in your life, the pressure that you have when we speak about the stress. But we also need to identify what causes this pressure. It is very important that you sit down and analyze your life and see what are the things, note them down. I'll advise you, have a book, write everything down, write them down. All the things that causes you to stress, write them down. Everything that causes you to have this enormous pressure, write them down. It's important. That is the first step to being able to manage your stress. You need to identify everything that causes you to have pressure, okay? So I said that stress management, it's all about your ability to manage what's going on in your mind. Now, please remember this. It's like some sort of a road or a route. Every one of us is exposed to many things in life. We are exposed to good vibes, good environments, positive environments. But on the other hand, we are also exposed to bad environments, bad energy, negative energy. Each and every one of us. That is one thing we cannot run away from. We are exposed to these things, right? So the most important thing is how you going to interpret your situations. All of us are exposed to situations, but what's more important is how you are going to interpret your situation, right? We do not choose. In most cases, we do not choose what happens to us, but we choose how we experience what happens to us, right? And your interpretation will formulate your response to the situation. So basically, just to give an example, once you have pressure and you say to yourself, you know what, I can't deal with this. You know what's going to happen, right? Your mindset is going to say, you know what, this person cannot deal with it. And it's going to form or formulate a behavior that says he cannot deal with this. Or she or he cannot deal with this. And your reality will be, I cannot deal with this. So it's important that you see what's going on in your conscious mind. It's important to have a positive conscious mind. When you have a situation, the first thing is not, I cannot handle this. No. The first thing is, I know that I have the ability to handle this. I just need to identify and see what are the techniques that can help me to overcome what I'm going through. And stress is about that. It's about, you have to breathe. Listen, you have to relax and just breathe and say, you know what? I know that I have pressure, but I'm going to sit down and identify all the techniques, see what are the techniques that can enable me to overcome my situation. The moment you respond too quickly, without thinking, without breathing, then you're gonna make a lot of mistakes. You can make mistakes that can even cost you your life, and it will take you long to recover, right? So we have to be careful. Now, stress, when we look at stress, stress can produce anxiety, and stress can also produce depression. Now, when we speak about anxiety, we speak about your fears that things cannot work out. You have this pressure and you're like, you know what? I'm so afraid that everything is going to fall apart. So that is anxiety. It's being afraid that everything is going to fall apart, and it causes you to have panic attacks. because you're thinking to yourself, you know what, I don't have any control here. Everything is just going to fall apart. Now that is anxiety. When we look at depression, is another level. It's another layer. It's a layer where you say to yourself that, you know what, I cannot do this. And it's like a mental breakdown where you reject every positive environment, every positive information. It's like you putting yourself in an isolation from all the positive things, and everything that you see around you is just negative. Negative, negative, negative. Even if I come to you, even if you can go to someone that is really experiencing depression and say, you know what, you are beautiful, you can manage this, you can win. As long as they reject that information, nothing will ever change in their lives. So depression is like isolation. You are isolating your mind, right, to positive energy, positive information. And it's like a breakdown saying to yourself, it's over, it's over, it's over. And once you say that to yourself, it will produce behaviors that validate your belief that it's over. So it's very important that we know how to control our stress, that we manage our stress. Because if we can manage our stress, we can avoid anxiety and we can also avoid depression. And when we look at what is going on right now in the world, in South Africa, young people are stressing and many people are committing suicide. Many people are doing things that, you know, can harm themselves. They harm themselves. And this is because what's happening here in the mind is because of the stress that they are feeling or they are experiencing, which at the end produces other stuff. It produces bad habits or bad behavior. It produces things that are not productive or that will give you progress in life, right? So it's important to know and understand stress and know how to manage that stress. But I want to tell you this, you are not alone and you have the ability to manage your stress, right? To have things under control. And the next session will be focusing on that, where you get techniques and tips on how to control and handle your stress. Now, first, I want us to go here. The symptoms of stress. The symptoms of stress, because sometimes we are in denial. The first thing you say when somebody asks you, how are you doing? You say, oh, you know what, I'm great, I'm good, I'm fine, even when you know that you are experiencing difficulty. So we are not opening up ourselves to speak about these things so that we can get help. It's very important to speak so that you can get help. When you don't speak, nobody can help you. When you are quiet and you isolate yourself, nobody can help you. But the moment you say, you know what, I understand that I'm experiencing this and I need help with this, then you can speak up and you will get the help that you need. So let's speak. Let's be honest to ourselves and let's be honest to the people that are around us that we trust and we know that they can help us with this situation, right? So the first thing that we usually say is, even when you're not good, when somebody comes in and say, hey, how you feel? Oh, you know, I'm amazing. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling this and this and this. Knowing at the same time that that is not true, right? Be free to speak. Be free to speak so that you can get help. Now, what are the symptoms of stress? It is important to know what is it that causes stress in your life, right? That is the first thing. The second thing is, how do you know when you're stressing? How can you pick it up? Because sometimes we cannot pick it up. We do not know. We really do not know sometimes that we are stressing, right? That's why we say, no, I'm stress-free. I do not know. I'm just okay. Don't worry about me. I'm good and stuff like that. But we actually have to know what are the symptoms so that we can see if we have any of these symptoms. And if we do, let's get help. Let's get our techniques of stress management up on the game. Let's get the solution. Let's not focus on the problem. Let's get the solution. Now, the first one is difficulty in sleeping. Difficulty in sleeping. When you see that it's very difficult for you to sleep, even when you really want to take a nap, even when you feel like I am tired, but you just can't sleep, something is off. Then you have to go maybe see a doctor, speak to somebody, right? The second one is weight gain or weight loss. Let me tell you, each and every day we have our own diet, right? So if you eat the same diet each and every day, but you do not gain weight or you do not lose weight, and that is just your diet, then nothing's wrong. But the moment you see that I've been eating the same diet for a very long time, but I'm starting to gain weight or to lose weight, then it means something else is influencing your weight. And you need to know what is that thing. You need to go and find out. The other one is stomach pains, when when you're experiencing stomach pains, right? And the other one is feeling irritable, when everything just irritates you. For no reason, you can just burst out and like, no, this, no. Then it means something is wrong, because you're always feeling irritated. Everything just frustrates you. Even the things that supposed to actually cheer you up, they start frustrating you. You start getting annoyed by small things. Then it means that you have to be careful. It could be one of the symptoms, right? And teeth grinding, panic attacks, headaches. When you get constant headaches, then you have to go see your doctor to see what is causing this headache. Difficulty in concentration, and I know this one is one of the most that young people experience. You want to focus in your lecture, you want to focus in class, but it's not happening. You just lose concentration. Then it means that there's something else that is disturbing you, that is actually affecting your focus. And you have to go out there to the doctor, to anybody, to help you with this situation, right? And the other one is sweaty hands or sweaty feet, right? And heartburn, excessive sleep, social isolation, when you don't want to be out there anymore, you just always want to be by yourself, you don't want to talk to people, nothing. Then it means that you actually, when you feel like you don't want to talk to people, that's the right time to talk to people. I'm telling you the truth. When you feel like, you know what, I don't want to talk to people, that is the right time to actually reach out and talk to people, because that's when you need help, right? When you're feeling down, it's not the right time to be by yourself when you're feeling down. It is actually the right time to go to your support structure. This could be your family, this could be your friends, this could be a doctor, this could be your specialist, anybody that you trust that is your support structure. That is the right time to go to them and say, you know what, I'm not feeling well. But do not isolate yourself when you are not feeling well. And I've spoken to many young people, I've trained many young people, and I've realized that the first thing that young people do when they experience stress is that they just want to sit alone. They just want to be alone. And at the end, it affects what their thoughts. They always thinking negative things. And before you know it, they do something that is harmful for themselves. So avoid being by yourself when you're feeling down. Really, really go out and seek for help, all right? Go out there and seek for help. And the other one is when you're feeling fatigued, nauseous. The other one is when you're feeling overwhelmed. You just feel this, you're just feeling overwhelmed all the time. Then it means something is affecting you, right? And the last one is an obsessive or compulsive behavior. Now, do you see that stress has so much impact in our lives? It has so much impact on our bodies. It affects our bodies more than we think. More than we think. That's why we need to know and learn how to manage stress. So today's session is about just understanding it, understanding the symptoms. From session 2, we'll deal with the issues or the techniques that can help you to manage your stress, right? Then what I want you to do is, I want you to prioritize your stress management skills. It's very important. Do not say, it's not important, I don't need to know these skills. It's just something that happens in life. No, it's something that you need to know how to control so that you can be able to have control over your life, right? It's important that you know how to control your life. Because if you do not control your stress or your mind will control you, or the stress will determine the outcome of your life, right? Now, why do you need to prioritize your stress management? Why do you need to learn the skills to manage stress? Why is it important? Because stress, first of all, it affects us more than we think, right? Let me just give you some of the things which I believe are important. The first one is that stress is referred to as a silent killer. Is a silent killer. Now, why the emphasis on silent? Is because it sneaks on you. Before you know it, you are depressed. Before you know it, you have panic attacks. Before you know it, you are anxious. Before you know it, things start to fall apart. So it's a silent killer because it sneaks on you. So you have to be aware. You need to be alert, right? It's referred to as a silent killer. And also because it causes heart disease. It causes high blood pressure, chest pains, and irregular heartbeat. So you can see that it's actually very important to prioritize your skills on stress management because It causes heart disease. It causes high blood pressure, chest pains, and irregular heartbeat. So do not let that silent killer get to you. Know how to manage that silent killer. Now, the next one, which I believe is important, just to give you an idea how it actually affects the body, is that stress accounts for 30% of all infertility problems, right? In women, stress causes spasms in the fallopian tubes and uterus. In men, it can reduce sperm count and cause erectile dysfunction. So you see, it really affects your body, right? It affects your body. Imagine you really want to have this life where you have a family, where you have where you have kids and stuff like that. And you go to the doctor, and the doctor says, no, you do not stand a chance to have this because of stress. So it's not something small. It's something that we need to deal with. It's something that we need to face to face. We need to handle and manage our stress. It's very, very important, all right? And listen to this one, it's very interesting. It says, correlation have been found between stress and top 6 causes of death. Ooh, 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 ooh. So there's a correlation between stress and all the diseases or things that kill people. Things like cancer. So stress has an impact and influence on cancer, lungs, heart disease, liver, and accidents and suicide. And these are the things that we cannot avoid, or these are the things that we cannot reject. This is the reality. These are the things that we actually need to manage. People get into accidents because they're stressed. People commit suicide because they're stressed. People get heart disease, high blood pressure because they are stressed. Now, the next point says, in children, chronic stress has been found to negatively impact their development growth due to reduction of growth hormone in the pituitary gland. So basically, you always have to remember that although you are the one experiencing stress, there's people around you, there's young people around you, there's children around you. Everywhere you go, there's always other people. Life is about us and other people. It's not just about yourself. And when you are stressed, remember at the beginning, I said, when you are stressed, your behavior and your habits, when you don't manage your stress, will be influenced by your stress. And your outcome will be influenced or formulated or formed by stressing. So if there are people around you and you do not manage or control your stress, you are going to negatively affect other people. And some of those people are small children, are kids. How you respond to them, how you speak to them, you will see with your behavior as well. Behavior is secondary. The primary thing is your mind. Behavior is secondary, right? So if your behaviors, you don't control your mind, and which is you don't control also your behaviors, right? Your behavior will affect people around you. Now, I want you to tell me, I want you to be honest with yourself and with me. If somebody commits suicide, right, to themselves, honestly speaking, having spoken with many people and trained many people, I've realized that they believe that this is the solution. They say, I'm tired of pain. I just can't do it anymore. But truth is, once the particular act is completed, the people around, or the people that used to be around that person, are going to be negatively affected. And that pain in their conscious mind as well, it can stay with them forever. Because people ask themselves questions like, what could I have done for this person? Maybe I was not good enough to help this person, or stuff like that. So it's very important that we realize that stress has to be managed. It's very important for us to manage our stress, all right? To have the management skills. Now, I told you about my testimony, that really, I felt like it's impossible for me not to stress because it triggers my migraine. I always thought, no. It's something that cannot be controlled. But let me tell you what, I was able to learn how to control my stress, how to manage my stress, and that helped me to transform my life Very, very much. Very, very much. I can't even explain it. Just too much, too much. That's why I'm saying to you that I'm lovely today. I'm too loud. I'm excited. I'm happy because I've learned the skills to manage my stress. So some of the people will think that, you know what, we do not, how do you not stress? How do you avoid it? No, no. It's something that you actually have to deal with. It's something that you have to handle because it's part of life. It's part of life. All right. So you need to know how to manage your life, basically. Manage your mind, manage your life, manage how the external influence or things that are happening externally affect your mind. Because one of the major things that play that play a role in you stressing is your interpretations of situations. That's why you see two people can go through the same situation, right? And both of them could have different experiences. It's simply because of how they interpret things in life. So I want to say to you, work on having a healthy mind. Work on being able to focusing on all the positive things that are happening around you. Focus on those things. Work on it. It's very important. Build that environment for yourself of positive energy and knowing how to handle negative energy. What I'm trying to say to you is you cannot avoid negative energy. You cannot avoid pressure. You cannot avoid those things, but you can manage them. You can put them under control. So basically, that is what I wanted to tell you about stress today and just making you understand what is stress and how is it actually impacting us, right? Remember this, that stress is the main thing which actually produces anxiety and also produces depression. So if we can handle the stress, then we are avoiding the anxiety and we are also avoiding the depression. So for today's session from my side, that is all. I hope this was actually, good for you. It was informative for you and you will be able to sit down today and just identify and analyze your life and say, what are the things that are causing me to have this enormous pressure? And how can I handle this pressure? Because every single thing that happens to us, we have the ability to handle it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Neo. It's always great hearing from you. And I think the excitement and love of life that you have is actually so infectious. I think if there are attendees on here that didn't really feel you speaking to them, I really don't know. So I would just like to find out if Dr. Moni or if Moni or Dr. Bill would like to add anything to your session today. Or there we go. I see Moni's coming on.
Thank you so very much, Gillian. And Neil, from my side, thank you very much for having the privilege and the opportunity also to be part of this. We have the privilege also of a long-standing relationship. And that is one thing that I also found is so important when managing stress, is to have relationships with people, to be in constant relationship. I want to commend you also for being part of what is happening here, as well as Dr. Bill Price. It is such an honor also working with him and you guys from the Golden Key. Heard so much wonderful things there. If I may add something that Neo said there, and I want just elaborate a little bit on that. Be aware of where you are emotionally. Be aware of your emotional landscape. Many people are not aware of your emotional landscape, and we will be talking about that a little bit later in the next session, to be aware of your emotional landscape. But if you're feeling things, do not just brush it off. Take time to really sit down and find out what is happening. I remember when Neo went through that immensely stressful situation, also in university. It influenced every part of his life, even his studies. He couldn't work. There's a lot of things that it was influencing. So talking from personal experience, I think that it is so valuable to hear that. And if you sitting there listening are really experiencing some of these things, please do not hesitate. It is so wonderful to know that the Golden Key is also on your side, working with you to really build a better together future for us. So be aware of that, become aware of your emotional landscape, and really be the solution to your own problems. So start to identify it and reach out through your wonderful relationships that you do have. Dr. Bill, how wonderful to see you there at long last. And yeah, is there something else that you would also like to contribute? We are friends for years, so it's nice. It's like family here today.
So hello everyone, and my salutations and thank you to the whole team and everybody that is involved with this whole process. So I was reading the other day that everyone thinks that a lot of people go over dramatic when they're stressed. But when an octopus, did you know that when an octopus is stressed, it eats itself? Now that's over dramatic. Yeah. So when you begin to eat yourself, then you need to know you're really over dramatizing things. But stress happens on the inside between our ears in our brain, and it's based on the stories that we tell one another and that we tell each other and that we tell myself. So when you take stress and you spell it backwards, it actually spells the word dessert. And so what you need to do is to turn stress around. So you turn stress around and it becomes a dessert. It becomes something that you can enjoy. So, and that's what people, that's why they go and eat ice cream and chocolate cake and sweets, because stress, when it's spelled backward, is actually dessert. But another friend of mine told me, he said, if I'm stressed and I burn calories, if that was a possibility, that if I'm stressed, do I burn calories? And I said, well, you burn a lot of energy. I don't know about calories. He said, well, because if I'll burn calories, my body will look like a supermodel. And so we've got to look at stress as something very real. I'm busy working with a young man now who's about 40 years of age. He's had 20 years of stress in his life that he did not pay attention to. And he's now, over the past 2 weeks, lost 14 kilograms. And he has what we now call in neuroscience brain fatigue or brain fog. And his brain, the executive part of his brain, couldn't tell his body what to do anymore. So his intestinal system shut down, his respiratory system shut down. It was like he was having a heart attack, and all of these realities. So the reality of stress over a period of time, and that's why we don't take stress seriously, because we kind of think, I'll just brush it aside. And that's why, as Neo said, it is the silent killer. Leave it alone, and it is going to keep on chewing when you are asleep. And the brain doesn't fall asleep at any particular point in time. So what we've got to do is we've got to check in with ourselves. And as Mani also shared very clearly, awareness. Self-awareness is critical in our life. And self-awareness simply means I'm aware of the context, and that is what, when, where, who, how, never why. So context is what, when, where, who, and how. And then we need to understand, not only aware of what's going on outside of me, I've got to be aware of what's going on inside of me. And I want to close with this. Our bodies have been created for a very, very specific function. Not only that it contains us or houses us and our soul and our being and our essence, but our body is also a communicator. It communicates to the world. So we communicate through the world. We can measure, as neuroscientists, we can measure your magnetic force around your body up to 6 meters away. And if I take your red blood cells, which contain iron and magnetic power in it, you can be 20 kilometers away and I'll be able to read in your red blood cell exactly at the same time when you're going through a trauma or whether you're going through a good experience. So we are kinesthetically and energetically and energy-wise connected to our world far more than we realize, and that goes through our body. And then our body is also a communicator within itself. Neo mentioned, You'll feel it in your stomach. You'll feel it behind your shoulder blades. You feel it in your neck. You'll feel it in your throat. You'll feel it in your mouth. And because we are unaware of what our body is signaling us, we go on and we forget about stress. Listen to your body. Feel your body. Be aware of your body. And the only way that we can do that is to learn to slow down and get in touch with our body. We just think our body is something that we must feed, put on a diet, get some sleep, and have a party. But our body is part of the communication system of our entire being. And so, yes, it's wonderful sharing with each and every one of you. Thrilled to be part of the panel, and I can't wait to hear any questions that we as a trio can try and help confuse you even further.
Thank you so much, Moni, Dr. Bull, Neo. I think it's a very big step for a lot of our members to attend this stress management sessions, and I would really like to encourage them to attend the next 3 sessions. Yesterday, the next invite was sent out, so Natasha did post it in the chat function for the members to RSVP. Get it in your diary so that you don't miss out on it. It is such an amazing session listening to you guys, starting to understand what stress does to the body, how to start identifying what it is, where, and I know not the why. So I think it is something that a lot of our members will certainly start jotting down those stresses after the session today. And I would like to say thank you from Golden Key's side to our panelists, and we're excited to log in with you guys during the week on our Thursday session. I'm encouraging members to, once again, like I mentioned, add it to your diaries so that you don't miss the next session. If there was anyone that missed these sessions or has to miss a session due to load shedding, we'll be sure to add them to our YouTube channel, Golden Key Southern Africa. So you'll be able to go and review if you missed something, or if you're unable to attend, to go and have a look at it. Remember to send in your questions on Q&A, and we'll be able to have this trio answer it for us in our final session. So thank you very much, everyone, and thank you for your attendance, and we look forward to hosting you guys on our next session.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. It was actually a privilege to be part of this. It's actually a privilege. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the entire team and for all the members that have joined. Listen, everything is going to be cool. Everything's going to be fine. Just believe it, just see it, and you will experience it.
Thank you so much, Naya. Go. We can, if the attendees would like to leave the session, there's a leave button at the right bottom hand side of your screen. So you're welcome to log out, and then we'll see you on our next session.